Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am here with the Restoration Cup. This is a seasonal cup that keeps coming back until you beat it. I've decided on my second account to tackle this with the brand new Purple Star Heritage GT that you see running down the track here. What I found out is that this car actually has an incredibly fast 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. So I was hoping that this car will be easier to use than the 66 Heritage or the regular GT for the purpose of getting through this cup. Well, I was in for some nasty surprises, as you will soon see as well. Speed trap, this car has to kind of top out at whatever the speed is that you're looking at, and it needs enough upgrades to do it, just like any cup, and this one is a particularly tough one. What I realized very quickly when I got to this first speed trap is that this cup is designed to be tough for a maxed car. What do I mean by that? If your car is not fully maxed, whether it's the regular GT, this one, or any other, you're not going to make it. 0.8140 to 100 for the first speed trap. That is ridiculous. Even the Ford GT, the normal GT, doesn't have this challenging a first sprint. The good news is, of course, you could tune it to accomplish it, right? Because this car has such a quick acceleration, in theory, it can easily do this 0.6 times. But to actually pull that off isn't as easy as it sounds. So here, let me show you when I try to do a quick launch, right? I try to shift as quick as possible. I use nitrous in second if it goes 1.039. So that 0.6 sounds like it's easy, but once you're actually trying to do it, it's a lot harder than I thought. Now, you can see my needles bouncing, and I'm not shifting as quick as I could, so that's what's costing me on the time. But also, much like the regular Ford GT, you don't want to shift past the gear that hits 100, and that would be fifth gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak it so that it tops out right on fifth gear, but I also going to lower the grip a little bit. This doesn't work with the regular GT, but for some reason this Heritage Purple Star needs a little bit less of a grip, even though it may sound like the 0 to 60 might be a little slower or 0 to 100 might be slower. Watch, with a little bit less grip, you can actually get a smoother shift in nitrous off of it, and therefore a faster run time, 0.743. So a lot quicker. So going back, now we're going to tackle this again. And that looks like I got that one. Okay, 0.777. And again, this is just the first sprint. You already have to hit under 0.8. All right, so time-wise, this cup is also very difficult. If your car is not close to fully max, you're not going to be running 9.2s. And that's exactly what your opponent's going to be running, low 9s from the get-go and moving to it very quickly. So right here, I'm already looking at a 9.3 opponent. All right, this one is sprint number 2. Now, I got through sprint number 1, so all I really need to do is reset back to what I had before, right? Well, guess what? I forgot to write down what I did. So at this point, I'm kind of guessing, it's 0.695, it should work. So back we go. Says it's hard, shouldn't be that difficult. Now I forgot how to drive the car. So you're going to struggle if you're not keeping track of what you're supposed to be doing. Again, as I said earlier, you want to shift the 5 shifts and not waste time. So here I wasted a tank of gas and I didn't get the job done. So back to the drawing board and trying to figure out what I did here and also getting a little gas in the process. So again, this is a very tough cup because of this. These sprints are difficult. And what's interesting is they're actually programmed to adjust to the car you use. So I use the car with much faster 0 to 100 with the hope that if I get the challenges that the Ford GT faces, it'll be easier, right? Nope, not happening. Natural Motion made it so that it's adjusted to your car. That means if you got a faster 0 to 100 car like this Heritage Purple Star, you get a more challenging sprint. And if you get the slower one, you get less challenging sprint. But in every single case, they're also very challenging for the particular car. So you need nearly a fully maxed car just to have a chance at getting through this thing. Now, all that being said, I got to this point pretty quickly. I got to the end here, not quite the end, this is like race number 20 something. What I run into now is a problem with upgrades. I'm missing two stage sixes and I cannot hit 258 miles per hour. Mind you, I'm only missing what is traditionally the weak two stage sixes, nitrous and turbo. I'm sorry, not nitrous, turbo and intake. So just missing turbo and intake, I am not able to get through the speed trap. So here you can see I'm tuning as much as I can, but not having much luck here so far. So I'm going to have to see. What happens is, this is what happens when you have a newer account you're trying to build up and you're doing what you can, but if the car's not building enough, unfortunately that 258, I can drive it every which way I want. Without the upgrades, it just isn't happening. And here, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to ride out nitrous in 7th, 253. Lose, lose, lose. Okay. At that point, I had a few hours left on the event. So one season and 3,500 bronze keys later, I'm back for round 2. Now I've added the turbo stage 6. I managed to pull turbo using about 3,500 bronze keys. And now I'm tuned this almost the same way to top out right around 258, and I should be able to pull this off. Well, you still got to drive it properly, and unfortunately that first run I didn't. I find the best way to get the highest top speed out of this car is actually short shift the first two and then ride out nitrous on the rest. So we're going to do that on this run. Launch, short shift. Whoops, no, that's not right either. Okay, you can't shift immediately into that gear. Although I did still get it. That was kind of iffy, but I shift right out of first and you notice second almost dropped to 0. But fortunately, it didn't affect the speed trap. All right, this is where it gets crazy. This is already near the end. We're only at the race right after the speed trap. So we're talking about race number 25 here, 26. Look at the time the opponents are running already. We're talking about low 9s at this point. Before you even get to the final sprint, you're already facing opponents that are running really, really fast. This, again, tells you up front, Natural Motion expects your car to be maxed to finish this event. Why? I don't know. What they did do is they make it so it comes back every season, so I guess that's the silver lining, right? But check out this sprint. I set my car back up to where I think it should be, okay, with the tuning generally speaking, for sprinting. And I know I'm going to need to do better than what I did before. So I was playing around. 0.793, kind of slow. You know, we want to try to get it into at least the 0.6s, 0.719, but is it easier to do? Give it a shot and see what happens. The key here is that if you don't know exactly what it is, that's a good starting point, right? 0.8, I know it's not going to be that slow, but what is it going to be? Is it going to be really tough? Well, I screwed that up. I didn't get into fifth, but let's see. 0.685. Are you kidding me? Do you realize that is probably what this car runs maxed? Fully maxed, it'll be hard to hit that number. So back to the drawing board for me, trying to get this car fully maxed, but I can't. Good old loyalty crate on that event crate gave me a duplicate engine stage 6. So I'm stuck with tuning it based on what I got. And what I got is not a fully maxed car. I'm missing intake stage 6 and I'm missing 5 epic fusions. So I'm pretty close to fully maxed, but now I'm basically stuck tuning around this issue. I actually took a break before I came back to do this part because I was so frustrated looking at the numbers. 0.62 sounds great in theory after I tune to it, but you know that so far tuning to 0.6s have only netted 0.7s. So this is not one of those things I'm just going to be able to run it and get it just like that. Now, after playing with it under testing a little bit, what I found is that I need to launch relatively unperfect, meaning because the perfect is right at red line, you literally are launching the car really, really late. Watch. I'm actually waiting until the final on the one to launch and then shift immediately. But notice the first gear still hit red line, and that costs you time. So what I'm going to need now to do is not only launch it perfectly, but also catch that first shift so I can get the 4 extra shifts in. Now, that one, the problem is, if you watch the way the needle moved, I shifted too quick, I skip shifted, and that kills it too. So not too quick, not too slow. It has to be Goldilocks. It's got to be just right. And unfortunately, at the speed that I'm shifting, it's more of a feel than what my eyes are showing me. Okay, 0.696. We're getting close here. So I have a chance. This is what I'm looking for, that feel for where I can get 4 shifts in. So it's literally launch 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you stop at 5. If you shift into 6, you're going to lose time. All right, that was close again, but not quite there yet. Again, the launching point, if I can get it on perfect and then shift right out, ooh, that one looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, but we didn't get it. Again, 0.727, but that's what I'm looking for. That no red line shift. All right, so here we go. Oh, what happened there? I got a bit of lag there. Oh, that killed it. That killed it. Did not finish. Okay. All right, so what happened is I actually have another instance of the BlueStacks open. So I'm going to actually close that and run it again. This time, no lag. Okay, let's time it. Shift. Done. Now, this one was pretty well done, and there it is. 0.676, not anywhere close to 0.2 the dyno says I can do, but good enough to beat Clear. That is how hard it is for the Heritage Edition. That being said, the Heritage Edition did this sprint without being fully maxed. The regular Ford GT would actually need to be fully maxed most of the time to hit the target number that the computer gives it, which is a little bit slower than this. It's at like a 0.9 to almost 1.014 range for most people, with the slowest being like a 1.048. Bottom line is, if you were trying to do it with this GT, it better be fully maxed, because watch, mine's quite short on parts, and the best 0 to 100 I can get is in the 1 point few second range, 1.5 second range. That's not even close. So you can't expect to even make it through half the event with this Ford GT. The GT Heritage Edition that I'm using, I actually won it with this Ford GT. I then spend money and transfer parts. What I suggest after running the event both with the 66 Heritage and this Purple Star, my ultimate finding is you're probably better off getting the 66 Heritage Edition. It's not as good an accelerating car as either the regular GT or the Heritage Purple Star, but it gets the easier challenges compared to the other two cars, especially for sprints. And if you have a device that doesn't react as quick as, say, a keyboard or a iPhone, you might be better off using the 66 GT rather than trying to get it done with this particular car. And with that, we end our Restoration Cup video here. Please feel free to make comments and let me know your thoughts. And as always, please subscribe to the channel if you like my videos so you can get notifications when I make new videos. I will be looking into more cups and Stage 6 effects coming soon. And thank you for watching this video. Have a good one.